Welcome to the 2025 campaign as our Los Angeles Angels opening day roster is set and ready to go. As you can see down here, things in spring training did not go well. Let's take a look at the injured list here. Rafael Montero literally pitched one spring training game and immediately just destroyed his elbow. He's got pulled pork in there. Not great. We're missing him for the whole year. He's never going to pitch a game for the Angels. At least I don't think he's ever played for the. He has not played for the Angels. I knew that. I don't know why I was questioning that. He is never going to pitch a game for the Angels. Logan O'Hoppe sprained his elbow. He's got 4 to 5 weeks left on that. So immediately, we're just taking a huge hit to our lineup here with O'Hoppe with the sprained elbow out for 4 to 5. Nolan Shanuel out for 3 weeks with a fractured foot. And then Zach Neto out for 2 more weeks with a fractured wrist. So this is literally our leadoff hitter last year, our 3-4 hitter last year, and then our 4-5 hitter last year at certain points, depending on what we were at in the lineup and whatnot. But 3 heart of the lineup hitters right here that we are just out with, and then Rendon is still recovering from his torn ACL. And then also that Hayden Birdsong guy we traded for also got hurt in spring training. He was starting the year in AAA anyways, but he, 5 to 6 weeks, going to miss the start of the year with shoulder tendonitis. Not ideal. So if we take a look at what we are rocking here with the lineups against righties, bit of a mixed bag here. Some guys we signed in the offseason, obviously. We've got Jake Rogers here at catching. He's playing every second day. We're just basically swapping him and Tice at catcher right now until O'Hoppe comes back, and then we will have to make a decision on which one goes down and which one stays. Rogers is the much better defensive catcher, but was absolutely dreadful at the plate last year for Detroit. Take a look at his framing. He had eight framing runs, way better catcher ERA than anything we had, but obviously it was just dog shit at the plate. While Matt Tice was actually a serviceable, more than serviceable, he was a really good bench bat in very limited sample size, but still a very good bench bat for us last year. And the thing is, his ratings are exactly average, and he was not good at all at framing last year. Just not ideal. So just a little tale of two sides there with Rogers and Tice at catcher, and then against lefties it's just Rogers because Tice is a lefty. But then Evan White at first base with Charles LeBlanc playing every 5th game. Nick Gonzalez playing at second. We've got Nicky Lopez, who we picked up on a minor league deal, and we didn't envision him playing opening day or being on the opening day roster, but he is on the opening day roster as a very, very good glove. He was awful with the White Sox last year, even with his defense, which I believe was very good. 5 ZR. That way you'd probably expect a little bit higher, but I mean, he's a really good glove. He adds a lefty bat to the bench. Not that he's a great bat, but he can make contact. He won't strike out. He's going to put the ball in play, use some speed, play some good defense. Like I said, not a guy we would ideally want on the opening day roster here, but we had him on a minor league team and a minor league contract, and now he's kind of like a vital guy also as the defensive sub at second base. Then at third base, it's Jordan Westburg, who we picked up in that trade with the Baltimore Orioles, which was we picked up him and Kyle Vernovich and Nick Vespi for Suarez and this, I believe he was a flamethrower reliever who had an extreme fly ball. Yes, indeed. And apparently they immediately didn't re-sign him, and now he's on the Mariners, or in the Mariners system down in AA. So it shows you how much value that guy had. But then he's at third base. I wasn't sure if he was going to be at third base to start the year or not. His ratings went down to or what my scout thinks is down to a 45 for potential. But I mean, I believe in this bat. This bat is going to be at least solid for us. I believe that bat is going to be good. So that's why he's hitting where he is in the lineup, because he's too good of a hitter to be on the bench or just not used. So he's at third base. Kyron Paris playing shortstop for us. We just want to see what we have in him. I feel like the eye is going to play well. It's just a matter of if he can develop the rest of his bat here enough to pick up the slack for what his. If he can develop his bat enough to pick up the slack, where if his defense is going to be his main thing. Defense, and he's a captain, has a good base running too. But we would like to see this WRC plus maybe up in the 90s. You know, if he's like a 90-ish WRC plus career hitter, I would be fine with that if he's a great defender. Taylor Ward in left, Mike Trout in center, Joe Adell in right, and then Jesse Winker, another guy we picked up on a minor league contract and did not envision playing here. It was more so like, well, he was awful with Seattle in limited time last year. So I was like, you know, we'll put him in AAA if he rakes, and at some point we need a bat. You know, he'd be a guy we call up, but he's our opening day DH, Jesse Winker. Very, very similar to the Miguel Sano situation last year, I feel like. Just kind of a guy getting a tryout and end up being in the DH. But a little bit of an opposite type of player because he's like very league average across the board with all this stuff and then has just a very, very good eye. So hopefully he can return to some of more of Jesse Winker, like, you know, I'm not expecting quite this, but maybe he can like channel this. Maybe he can channel 2019 Jesse Winker. I'd be fine with that. And then the bench outfielder is Victor Robles, who we picked up on a 2-year deal. The second year is a team option, very cheap. You know, if he plays well and I like him, maybe bring him back. Maybe we don't. But that is the situation. And then he is also doing the every 7th day in center field thing, where Trout DHs every 7th day, because I just feel like that worked well last year, so we're going to keep doing it. There you have the pinch hitters. And then against lefties, Winker just falls out of the lineup, and we have an all right-handed lineup against lefties, where Winker becomes the top pinch hitter, and Charles LeBlanc becomes our DH, because the only position he's really good at playing is first base. Obviously, Westberg is a better third baseman than him, and Evan White is a better first baseman than him. So that is the deal with the lineups. Move things on to the pitching side of things, where we have quite a few new names here. Clayton Kershaw, right off the bat there, is our opening day starter. Makes the jump from Los Angeles to Anaheim, as he is still rated very well, coming off a very solid season with the Dodgers last year in 24 starts. Obviously, the fragile is a bit worrying, but, you know, he's Clayton Kershaw. We needed to improve the pitching staff, so we pick up a 1-year deal for Clayton Kershaw. After that, we've got Griff Canning, who returns, Reed Detmers, who returns. Then it's Jack Flaherty, who we picked up on a similar deal that we did with Robles. He was a 50 overall when I signed him, but I mean, his ratings are about the same. I feel like he's a solid starter option. You know, we just needed to get another arm in there who I thought could be good. He was basically always in the pen last year in 2024 at Detroit, and he was, you know, solid enough. Then he got traded back to Baltimore again, and he was solid enough. But I think these ratings will play. We have him right now as a follower. He's on a 2-year deal, like I said, but the second year is a team option. If he's back to being like Jack Flaherty, then we bring him back at $6.5 million. That's a steal. But if he's not, we don't have to deal with him next year. And then Tyler Anderson as, once again, like the number 5 innings eater sort of guy. And then we've got some of last year's starters now in the bullpen. Brusdar Graterol, who we picked up from the Dodgers at the deadline last year, is our closer here to start the season, the extreme ground ball flamethrower. Then we've got Clevenger and Sam Bachman here as the setup men. Clevenger in the 8th or later. It's just a side armor with insane stuff. Sam Bachman, his stuff plays up in the pen, throws hard, extreme ground ball, can give you multiple innings, and that's why we have his secondary role as a stopper. And then we have in the middle relief, we've got Matthew Liberatore, who we claimed off waivers from the Cardinals, Jose Soriano, who returns from last year's team, Patrick Sandoval, who was a starter last year and is now going to be like a multi-inning relief option as a left-handed arm in the pen. His stuff ticks up a bit. We also have his secondary role as a stopper, so we have a righty and a lefty stopper option if our manager so pleases to use those. And then Ben Joyce, the 104-mile-an-hour flamethrower here with his 80-grade fastball. He is back in the bullpen here to start on opening day this season. He didn't come up till later on the year last year, and he is also the opener for Jack Flaherty. I feel like that's a good combo. You know, start the game off with 104-mile-an-hour Ben Joyce type stuff, and then you have Jack Flaherty to go the distance with some 60 stamina and have some more, like, pitching going on as opposed to just blowing fastballs and nasty sliders by people. And then Shea Silseth, who was last year's fifth starter. I still believe that he could be a starter, but we are rocking with him as the long relief emergency setup guy, or emergency starting pitching guy in our pen this year. So that's what our team looks like here on opening day. And then if we take a look at the preseason predictions, I do not remember what they had the Angels as at the beginning of last season. I feel like it was less wins than this, but I mean, it could have been around the same. I mean, anyways, this is a projection to have more wins than we had last season. Ideally, we'd like to be a little bit more competitive than this. If we can get up in this Mariners range, that would probably be what, is more ideal. Ideally, we're a much better team, but, the state of things here in Angels land is not great. So we're just trying to be competitive right now. The Angels have not been competitive in forever. We have Mike Trout, damn it. We're trying to be competitive. And then as far as some of the top hitters in the league, Mike Trout, obviously, they have him in here. But nobody else from our team is among the top pitchers. Anything that stands out among these teams? Not really. The Orioles and Rays, top of the division. I guess the Yankees being mid is kind of surprising. I should probably look, where did Juan Soto go? I did not really pay attention to that. He's on the Mets! Juan Soto is a New York Met after spending last year with the Yankees. That is interesting. And then a very interesting thing here in the National League is that they project the Diamondbacks to be better than the Los Angeles Dodgers, and that everybody else will just be really bad in that division. But a projection 90-win Dodgers team, how did they get Enrique Bradfield? Who did they trade for him? Okay, what am I doing here? History. Interesting. So the Orioles got Dustin May, who is quite good pitcher. Struggled in limited innings. I believe he was coming back from an injury last year in 2024, but he's now on the Orioles. And Enrique Bradfield Jr. is now on the Dodgers, along with Judd Fabian, who's in AAA in Oklahoma City, and Albert Apodaca, who is a Dominican teenager prospect, who is already in the Dominican League, even though he's not 18 yet. They also have Jorge Polanco now, who they got in a trade with Seattle for Eduardo Quintero, who's a teenage Venezuelan, and Carlos Rojas, who is, that seems pretty underwhelming. I guess this Quintero guy is pretty solid. This guy seems like he's going to be pretty good. But yeah, Jorge Polanco now on the Dodgers, and they're projected to get 90 wins. While the Diamondbacks picked up Seiya Suzuki, interesting. And I guess they have Michael King now, who was not good with San Diego last year. They picked him up as a free agent. And then Seiya Suzuki is their cleanup hitter, who they also picked up as a free agent. Okay, no, they traded. Okay, so the Cubs traded Suzuki to the Diamondbacks for Ivan Melendez. Okay. Jackson Feltner's whatever, but they've got the Hispanic Titanic. The UT man. From El Paso. You should have went to Texas Tech, my brother. But the high leader, work ethic, big power bat. I do remember this guy hitting tanks for the Longhorns in college, and he is making the jump from AAA to the big leagues, or he did last season, was not good, still hit 16 home runs and 19 doubles, though, and now he is the Cubs' first baseman, it seems like, so that is an interesting thing. I do like that, sort of, but not that, like, Seiya Suzuki, Seiya Suzuki is a very good player, so the fact that they just basically traded Seiya Suzuki straight up for Ivan Melendez, they believe Ivan Melendez is like the truth at first base. All right, we're here at opening day against the Chicago White Sox, and I'm just curious. This is going to be a fun little thing. We are just going to like cruise through a quick little game here on opening day and just see how it goes, just because, opening day, who doesn't love opening day baseball? We are going to get this rocking and rolling. We're just going to cruise right through here. So, boom. Until runners in scoring position, nobody going for the White Sox. Bottom of the first, same for us. Eloy Jimenez is on second. Oh, it's an sick. We got the alternates on because it is a either Friday or Sunday. I'm assuming it's a Friday game if it's opening day. Because we are wearing our alternates, I just realized. That is sick. We're just going to speed through this. So nothing going there. Oh, who just homered? Jesse Winker just homered. What do you know, folks? I'm a genius. All right. Kershaw gets out of it. Kyron Paris now, or Taylor Ward's on second base here, top three. Let's just see what happens here with two outs. Mike Trout. Ground ball. Nothing going. I don't like that they keep the red batting helmets, but, I mean, it's whatever. Who cares? We're not going to be watching this very often anyways. But, yeah. Let's just speed through here. All right, they got one. They got a Colson Montgomery RBI. Oh, big inning. Big inning in the sixth. What happened? What happened? What happened? Looks like a double for Ward, and then a double for Adele. Let's go. All right, so back in the game here. Okay, big inning for them. Big inning for them. We don't do anything. Liberatore is on the, or I guess he's been on the bump here. Nothing going. Nothing going. Here in the top of the ninth. Brusdar Gratterall's on. And we shut the door. The Angels win opening day. Taylor Ward, 2-hit game. Mike Trout had a hit. Adele, Winker, each drove in a run. Winker had the home run. Jordan Westberg with a hit and a 2 RBI day. All around, a successful opening day here. Clayton Kershaw goes 5 innings strong, only gives up 1 run. Liberatore, bit shaky, but you know, gets the job done as Gratterall closes out. Apparently Shane Bieber is now on the White Sox, I just realized. And they also have Adames. Wow. Interesting. So the White Sox have an interesting roster now as they made some moves in free agency. I was wondering why they had so many good players when it showed like teams side by side. But yeah, we will probably pick things up around the draft and see how things are going. Folks, things are going swimmingly. I mean, things are going well, I should say. I don't know about swimmingly, but things are going much better than they were last season at this point. We are above 500. 32-27 sitting are the Los Angeles Angels. Take a look at the expanded standings here. We have a positive run differential, plus 31, sitting at third place in the AL West. And if we take a look at our team stats page, the bats have been pretty good this year. We're striking out a lot, which is, worrisome. But, we're doing all this other stuff. We're getting on base still. We're slugging. We got the OPS. We got the WAR. We got the WOBA. We're scoring runs. Sixth is, not the best, but it's solid. It's solid. We're getting extra base hits. Fifth in home runs. The most amount of walks. We draw walks here. We get on base. And then the base running. Still stealing a ton of bags. But the ninth is not great, but it's not the worst. It's still a negative base running, but it's not like dead last like it was last year. I believe this was what this was. And then the pitching, so much better, and the defense, third in team ERA, seventh in starters, but third in bullpen, fifth in runs allowed, combined with the sixth in runs scored. Fourth in WAR, second in hits allowed, second lowest opponent's average, third in BABIP, fourth in home runs allowed. Walking a bit too many guys, but that's fine. Strikeout, it's not fine, but it's not the worst. Strikeout sixth, defensive efficiency sixth, and second in the American League in ZR. I mean, what were we, dead last in this last year? And now we got a plus 16? I mean, we're turning things around here in Anaheim. We take a look at what they think of our team here. I mean, they think we have the second best catcher in baseball, the second best second baseman, the fifth best first baseman, Mike Trout the fourth best center fielder, Taylor Ward doing things, Joe Adell doing things, and then look at this, the pitching isn't awful anymore. I mean, Griffin Canning has been incredible to start this season. On pace for a 4 WAR, 6 R WAR, 176 ERA plus. I mean, the guy has just been a stud. He won Pitcher of the Month in April. He won Pitcher of the Month in April to start this season. I mean, he's just been fantastic. If we take a look here at the actual pitching page, you know, Gratterall got off to a bit of a slow start, but he's starting to figure things out. I'm sure if we look at his splits here, yeah, rough April for ERA-wise, but still good FIP. And then ERA in May rebounded, and then the FIP is still also very good. So Brusdar Gratterall doing his thing. Garrett Clevenger just shutting down guys. Continuing, I mean, he was solid last year for what we had behind him in defense, and then he is just absolutely tearing through guys. He is shoving in the back end of our bullpen right now. Claimed him off waivers from the Rays last year. Take that, Rays. Sam Bachman, his stuff has ticked up, and he has been solid as our seventh or later / stopper guy in the bullpen. We changed Soriano to the opener for Flaherty. As you can see, Flaherty is actually doing quite well as a follower, and Soriano is now the opener. I haven't checked, but he's been fine enough as the opener, and then he's also very good in the bullpen. Ben Joyce, however, was not good in his opener role. You can see he had 5 starts. They were all very bad. He's been a little bit better in the bullpen ERA-wise. The FIP needs to come down a little bit for him, though. And then the only other change we've made here was Nick Vespi is now up in the big leagues. His FIP has been around league average. He's kind of getting unlucky. The BABIP is a bit high. Striking out guys, not walking too many guys. He was shoving in Salt Lake to start the year, so we called him up because Matthew Liberatore has an arthritic elbow. So, not ideal. Definitely not ideal when you're a pitcher and you've got arthritis in your elbow. Not what you want to see. But, you know, Sandoval hasn't been great. He's been, you know, fine-ish enough. Ben Joyce we've been over. Silseth has been, like, fine-ish enough. Like, league average. But, like, you know, the backhand's been really good. Kershaw's been, you know, not ace level, but he's, you know, he's not a bad pitcher. He's been solid. He's had solid FIP. His 80 FIP minus is really good. Reed Detmers, round league average pitcher. Jack Flaherty, we've been over, has been very good in his tandem with Soriano as the opener and follower. And then Tyler Anderson is just doing his thing where he eats innings as the 5th starter. He's regressing here with his ratings and whatnot, but I mean he's the 5th starter in the playoffs when we get there. It's happening, folks. I'm calling it. We're not jinxing anything here. He won't be even in the rotation. He'll just be like, I doubt he even makes the playoff roster at that point. But you know, he's doing what he does, eating innings, resting the bullpen for the rest of the days when he gets on the bump. And then the bats here look a little bit different as they were when we first started the season because we are healthy now at all our positions, aside from Liberatore, who obviously got hurt. But the bats are all back to being here. Logan O'Hoppe has been fantastic since coming off the IL. You can see here, 6 home runs, 5 doubles, 128 WRC plus. He's doing his thing. Nolan Shanuel, just absolutely tearing the cover off the ball. 158 WRC plus, 4 home runs, 7 doubles. Walking way more than he's striking out. I mean, just fantastic stuff from Shanuel. Evan White slowing down a bit. He was in his starter role doing quite solid, but I mean, he's still fine. You know, he's still hanging around. He is a bench piece for us right now. But, you know, he's there. He's doing his thing. Zach Neto got off to a bit of a slow start once he came off the IL, but I believe he's been better as of late. Maybe not. Actually, maybe he was good and then he's been slowing down. But, you know, he's fine. We believe in Zach Neto. Zach Neto's fine. He's rated very well. He's going to keep doing his thing, and he'll eventually, you know, he'll eventually regress to where he should be. Anthony Rendon, though, has actually been around league average as a bat. You know, walking a ton, not striking out a lot, no power at all anymore, but I mean, he's doing what you. I mean, this is about the best you can expect from Anthony Rendon at this point in his career. We've got the rest of this year and then one more year left of his contract. He is wrecked, so that's not ideal. But, you know, maybe he ends up on the IL and we can get some other guys in there. But, you know, we're getting this production from Anthony Rendon. I'll take that. I'll take that all day long. Jordan Westburg is now in a bench role and has not been good. You know, I believe in this bat, but it's the performance just has not been there. He is also playing every fourth game at third base against righties and lefties. So he is just, you know, he's still getting his ABs while also being like the backup at a couple other positions and being the main pinch hitter. But you know, we still believe in his bat, but it hasn't been a great start to Jordan Westburg's career here in Anaheim. Kyron Paris, he got off to a dreadful start. He has been much better. It's probably not a good sign that he's hitting this poorly, even with a 300 BABIP. Not ideal, but you know, he is a positive ZR at shortstop, so we'll take what he's giving us as the 9-hitter right now. And then Taylor Ward has been great. Great. On pace for 30 home runs. I mean, the guy is insane. Walking a ton, striking out less than 20% of the time. I mean, he's putting up numbers like he had in this year, 2022, where he had that insane year, and then he just really hasn't ever been the same since. But this year, he is he's doing the thing. Taylor Ward, very solid. Love to see it. And then Mike Trout, man. I mean, what can you say about Mike Trout? 19 home runs, 11 doubles, 176 WRC plus, almost a 400 OBP, 639 slug. I mean, 33, almost 34-year-old Mike Trout. He's also putting up a positive ZR in center field. I mean, the guy is just incredible. Incredible. Mike Trout. How about it, folks? And then Joe Adell has really turned it on this season. 12 home runs, 11 doubles, 130 WRC plus. I mean, he's the bats are here this season, folks. Joe Adell, also another positive ZR player in right field. We've got defense, we've got hitting, we've got pitching this year, folks. I mean, anything can happen. And then how could I forget Jesse Winker here, who we added to the team on a minor league contract and was our opening day DH purely because of injuries, has got himself on our roster here. Ideally, we would want we planned on our right-handed pitching lineup to be Evan White and LeBlanc at first base, and then Shanuel DHing. But Winker got off to such a good start that he actually is our DH still. He's still walking 15.9% of the time, striking out less. He's striking out 22%. You know, he's getting on base. He's doing what he does. He's on pace for 25 doubles. He's slowed down a little bit, but you can see here, he was crushing the ball in April, and he's been bad here in May. But, I mean, we're probably going to give him some more run here at DH, and if he continues hitting like he did in May, then we're going to move on from him. But, I mean, he's earned the opportunity to see what he can do, at least for another month. Matt Tice hasn't been quite the player that he was as a backup last year, but he's been, like, you know, fine enough. He also has no options. That's why we decided to send down Rogers and not him. And then Robles has been, like, a perfectly serviceable fourth outfielder type guy. Very limited plate appearances, but he's doing, you know, his thing, playing good defense. You can see, you know, the ZR is not great, but he has a very limited sample in, like, all these positions. And then he is unhappy because he wants to be a part of the starting lineup. He keeps sending messages being like, I want to start. And it's just like, where do you want to start, brother? Who do you think you're better than here? It's not happening, man. And in case anyone's curious why Charles LeBlanc got sent down, it was a lot to do with the fact that we just had 3 first basemen plus Winker on the team, and we just didn't have room to keep LeBlanc. And at that time, LeBlanc was struggling in the bigs, and Evan White was still hitting. So I was like, you know, we'll send down LeBlanc, and he's been crushing it in AAA. You know, if we need a first baseman at some point, he's the number one option for us right now to come back up. But you know, Love LeBlanc, love the QC guy from University of Pittsburgh. We love the cold weather baseball players. But you know, just it's just a matter of we just had a logjam at a position and he was the odd man out. That's really what it was. Although we do have this guy down in AAA right now hitting quite well. 15 on pace for 15 home runs, 18 doubles in like 100 or like 379 plate appearances. He's walking a ton. Interesting player, I will say. I probably prefer LeBlanc over him right now because LeBlanc has proven it. But Tucker Flint here is an interesting player. Also, cold weather baseball player. Love to see it. And I don't think there's really anything else I wanted to mention about AAA. Oh, actually, there is Josh Smith, who you remember we traded for last season from Texas as like a bench utility guy. If Jordan Westburg, I mean, we probably still want Jordan Westburg to get his ABs. You know, maybe we get him everyday ABs in AAA, but ideally he's in the big leagues. We don't want Jordan Westburg to be like a quad A guy. And Josh Smith is just tearing the cover off the ball in AAA. He's on pace to put up some ridiculous numbers down there. So, you know, if Westburg is like really, really bad and like the bat doesn't regress to where I think it should be, Josh Smith is probably the option to go up and take his place on the Major League roster. Also, a quick look down on the AAA pitching rotation with some guys that we are keeping an eye on. Kyle Brnovich in his age 27 season. He's been like league average, I would say, down in AAA. You know, one thing I don't like about having a PCL team, really the main thing I don't like about having a PCL team, is the fact that pitchers just kind of get just destroyed down there. It's just a grinder. Just an absolute grinder down there in AAA. Pitchers just go there. It's like going to Colorado, basically. And, you know, you can't really trust too much of the stats there. If you believe in a guy's stuff, you got to be like, okay, I believe in his stuff. Then we'll call him up. So Brnovich, if we need somebody to come up, Brnovich is definitely one of our main options here, as well as Hayden Birdsong, who has also been like around league average down there through 7 starts. Remember, he missed the beginning of the season with shoulder tendonitis, but he is back, and he is pitching well. So another guy where it's like, you know, these stats don't jump out to you as like, whoa, like cartoon eyeballs popping out. But like I said, you believe in the stuff, you got to trust the stuff when you have a PCL team, and I do believe in what my scout thinks of Hayden Birdsong here, another cold weather baseball player, as we do. Well, let's jump into the 2025 first-year player draft here as you can see we have the 8th overall pick. We were 5, but we kind of got gypped with the lottery. As you can see, the Phillies jumped all the way up from 14th, which is just absurd. But A's unfortunately dropped to 1. I guess unfortunately for them, I mean, they're still going to get a good player, but we go from 5th to 8th, still, you know, top 10. But, you know, would have been cool to have the 5th pick. Hopefully we can get we don't miss out on, like, Vance Honeycutt by 1 pick again. I don't really want I mean, this draft is not... Do I have this on all... Oh, it's pitchers. Okay, I was going to say. Well, there's Ethan Holiday, who's probably going number 1 overall. But, yeah, let's just go ahead and... or let's just see who goes first. Kansas City, 1st overall. Ethan Holiday. Another Holiday in professional baseball. And then now we'll just go ahead and skip to our pick. And what do you know? Oh, we got some college guys, actually. We got some college arms. It looks like it's all pitchers here at the top. Like, the best hitter is 50 grade. And, like, this guy, I do like the high. He has the holy duo, work ethic, intelligence. But he is a high school, and he's more of just like a power bopper. I don't really like his profile as like a first-round pick. So I'm probably leaning one of these... I mean, these college pitchers have like really awful... They're college pitchers, which I love. Like, this guy seems like he could be pretty good. This guy as well. And, like, they're all, like, really developed to the point where, like, you could take... This guy's definitely the worst of the bunch, although it looks like he can hit a little bit, too. But the thing is, all 3 of these guys have the opposite of the holy duo. They have the low work ethic intelligence. And, like, I'd probably prefer this guy over this guy purely because it looks like this guy is going to have like league average movement with really good stuff, obviously, and but he's like more of a soft tossing lefty. I also clicked on the wrong guy. Also, Texas A&M. Obviously, I'm not drafting guys actually based on where they come out of, but Texas A&M, evil, deeply evil. Chase Shores, LSU, very cool. You can do the Louisiana law voice. Louisiana. This is Kevin Costner talking in the JFK movie, even though he's Kevin Costner. You know, they do stuff like that in Louisiana-based movies. But anyways, Chase Shores, definitely the guy I'd prefer. Love the fastball, side armor, funky arm angle. Looks like he's going to have better than league average movement. I'm probably still leaning towards taking this guy as opposed to being like, is this Jake Peavy's kid? I mean, if you're going to tell me there's a kid named Jackson Peavy, that's got to be Jake Peavy's kid. I'm not going to look it up right now, but I probably will at some point today. I do love that he has high work ethic intelligence, but you know, high school arm. I don't want to take back-to-back high school arms, really, is what it comes down to. Other high school arm. I think we're just going to take Chase Shores. We're just going to hope that he can develop despite the work ethic intelligence, because I think this could be a really good pitcher. Chase Shores. Yeah. We're rocking with that. Chase Shores, 6'8" power pitcher. Welcome to the organization. Move things on. Round 2. One of these college arms is still here. The guy I like the least, but he is the guy who's two-way but low. But I think since Jackson Peavy is still here and he's got the work ethic intelligence, I think we're gonna take him. We're not gonna overthink it. I don't think. Unless I can just do like a quick skim through here and see like who's the best college bat. Cade Kurland. Not really interested in that. No. Yeah, we're taking Jackson Peavy here. So pitcher, first, second round. And we're going round 3. I think I took this guy with my Royals, and he developed to be like a guy who hits like a bunch of home runs in AAA, but strikes out 40% of the time. Interesting two-way sort of player. Are there any like outstanding 70, 65? I mean, these guys have 70 range, but like, do I want to take a guy with a 45 potential in round 3? This guy has a really high demand. I mean, he does seem like he could be pretty good. This bat profile, if that develops with this glove and this speed, that's pretty good. I don't know if we're going to be able to afford it, though. We have our draft budget set to 15 million. So yeah, I think we will be able to afford it, actually. I think we will. I forget what the first guy we took was, but I think it was like a pretty big slot demand. I think it was like 7 million or something, and he's 5. So, I mean, I do like the profile, but I don't know if we want to take him here. Or maybe bank on that he'll be there in the next. I mean, even if in the end, he still has the demand issue. I guess it just depends if any of these guys I like better. Like, this guy could be decent with the 60 range. Probably more of a second baseman, though. He could be like a super utility guy. He might be able to pitch decently well is the thing. He's committed to Vandy. This guy can also pitch. These guys are basically this guy's going to strike out way too much. High school arm, who's already pretty developed. 2 million slot. Noah Franco. I'm telling you, this game loves to develop some, or just to generate some two-way. I guess this one's not generated. This one's like actual real players. But Jack Bauer, you gotta be kidding me. Jack Bauer. Okay. Um. I mean, I guess we are just immediately. We're gonna do it. If we can't get him, then we can still manage to like offer half and get like a comp pick for him. But I mean, with this glove, this speed, and like a league average bat, if that develops, we don't know his personality class, which is annoying. But I'm liking this guy's profile. Anthony Pack Jr. Boom. We now move things on. Our scouting director thinks we should take Bryden Bull, a guy who's going to strike out like 90% of the time, some Baldy Dahlbeck type shit. This Billy Carlson guy is still here. You know, I liked this guy when he was here before. So I think we're probably going to take him. Yeah. Billy Carson is our 4th round pick. We move things on. And now we're getting down into the weeds here. Like, college arm at a Bowling Green. Oh no, he's at a Bowling Green, Kentucky. He goes to Louisville. Louisville? Interesting. Probably definitely more of a pitcher than he is a hitter. Like, I don't think this is like a hitting profile even worth putting any time into. I'd probably think he's more of a guy who's going to be like a 5th starter, decent reliever type arm. Yeah, definitely not too much that's interesting here. Who are like the 45 potential holy duo guys? 2 of them. It's Forbes and Carter Smith, who is a shortstop, probably more of a second baseman with decent speed and like some gap power. Maybe hit like 20 home runs. As opposed to this guy. I think we're going to take Carter Smith. And then Forbes is still there, so we're going to take Forbes. And now we're in round 7, and I think we're going to do the rest of this off camera, because we're at the point now where it's just basically me being like very trivial amount of stuff. Just being like, oh, well, this guy's got like, you know, we're looking for guys who have like 1 grade. Not a lot of guys standing out here, but we're going to do the rest of this off camera, and we'll pick things back up at the end of the draft. Alrighty, we are here at the end of the draft, and we have managed to offer all of our guys who have demands what they have with their demands, so we are actually going to be able to get Pack and Shores, our 1st round pick Shores, and our 3rd round pick Anthony Pack Jr., high school guy committed to UT. We're going to steal him from UT. Jackson Peavy in the 2nd round, Billy Carson in the 4th round, Carter Smith in the 5th round, and then our 8th round pick, who we took off camera, is this guy who has like decent like contact avoid KI abilities with some pretty good outfield fielding skills. We're stealing him from Clemson. And then if we take a look at not the available jobs, but our GM transactions history. So yeah, Shores, PV, Pack, Carlson, Smith, Forbes, Maximus Martin, who I'm fairly sure this guy transferred from Rutgers to Georgia State. If I'm thinking of the same guy, I believe this is him. Then we showed the Chiarito guy, or Chiarodo, Harrison Didawick, interesting outfield corner bat. Andrew Jacobs, we took a pitcher, high school pitcher. Jackson Baker, another high school pitcher, high work ethic, intelligence. Cal Miller, a high work ethic, intelligence catcher. This high work ethic, intelligence leader, speed, shortstop. Oh, I mean, shortstop, 3rd base guy out of Harvard. At this point in the draft, we're taking guys who are just like, maybe they get like a huge bump in development, TCR hits them or something, and they just like become like good out of nowhere. It happens. Definitely if you have good coaches too. It's just, something that happens as the game plays. Or I'm looking for like this guy. I don't think like if something happens to him with TCR and he gets like a big boost and he's like ends up being like an actual like decent bench player for us, cool. But this guy is more so taken for being like, you can play some like good defense in the minors because you need that stuff. You need like if you're just taking like a bunch of like bats at this point who you think could develop, like you're gonna have awful minor league defense and your pitchers are never gonna develop because you're having like 45 range guys play shortstop. Uh, and then like this guy, high work ethic, leader intelligence, extreme ground ball. Bryce Blazer, another contact, avoid K sort of player. This guy, just pure garbage at the plate, high work ethic, intelligence. You can see it. You can see a theme here. Blake Guerin we took simply because I know who he is. He's Big Bopper at the University of Iowa. This guy from Wake Forest, high work ethic, high intelligence, high work ethic. It's a common theme here. It's what you do. It's how I do it. And that is our draft here in 2025. These are the names we took. Maybe we'll see some of them here in the future.